I just realized upon hitting record that I'm following up a video on Sentence to be a Hero with a video on Kunon the Sorcerer Can See. A show that's like amazing animation, great directing, cool fantasy setting and everything, with what is potentially going to be just OP main character Slop. A boy who can't see that turns everything into water so that he can see everything, and everybody goes Sugoi, Sugoi. We'll see though. I've actually been enjoying Kunon the Sorcerer Can See. Like, all jokes aside, the first 2 episodes have been pretty decent. Now, yes, slow at times, kind of looks bland. It has charm in there. Like, I really do like Kunon and his sort of chemistry that he has with people. Sort of this whole premise they set up and the idea of him being this humorous noble or gentleman. It's great. Iko, his maid, I love her to death. Like, she is absolute waifu material. I love this maid so freaking much. She's just so nice and so beautiful in every respect. But anyways, I watched the first 2 episodes, so let's just jump into my thoughts on it. It opens up with a boy named Kunon. Now, in this kingdom, at some point in the past, there was this demon lord that appeared, and these heroes went to take them on. And this one hero took them down at a massive cost, at a cost of an arm and a leg specifically. He took down the demon lord, and it only cost him an arm and a leg, literally. But following his passing, every so often somebody is born from the bloodline that will have some sort of disability. They're missing a limb or something, and they'll end up saying that person bears the hero's scar, something that was left behind by this hero. And yes, Kunon is one specific person. He was born blind, and so everybody claims that yes, this is the hero's scar left behind. He can't see because of that aspect. Well, everybody sort of, takes care of him. Even the king himself has sort of given his blessing to the child because, again, he has this hero scar. But this is not really great for him. He's obviously in a bad place. He feels like he's a burden upon everybody. I mean, you have this whole situation where his brother was leading him out of the room and he tripped and fell, and thus the brother kind of just blames himself for hurting his brother. Well, he gets assigned a maid named Iko. And Iko's kind of trying to push him forward, help him kind of move himself forward, eventually brings in a maid to tutor him because he actually has the water's crest, which allows him to use water magic. And while he's being tutored by this mage, Jinnie, she ends up saying something that catches his attention. Upon creating a water ball, she says the water ball is about the size of his eyeball. And this kind of intrigues him. The idea of being able to create something that is so similar to an eyeball, thus leading him to want to advance in magic enough that he could potentially create an eyeball. Well, yes, simple at first. This sort of encourages Kunon to want to seek knowledge. This water magic essentially becomes an inspiration for him, something that brings him happiness. He wants to dive into history books, wants to learn about knowledge itself, and just keep pushing himself further and further. To be able to use more magic, he needs to get more physically fit, so he starts to train himself physically more. And thus everybody around him sort of sees this massive change in his personality and his desire to push forward. Yes, even his fiancée, who is the princess of the kingdom, whereas before she dreaded the idea of ever marrying him because, yeah, he's just always gloomy. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't like to be around her, doesn't want to go to places with her because, again, he feels like a burden upon people. Very quickly realizing, oh my gosh, this guy has changed so much. He's much more happier. He's much more bubbly. He wants to tell me about his last week. Then one day, we see a massive breakthrough in his development of his water magic in order to create his own ability to see. After learning how to change the different attributes of a water ball, give it temperature, he's trying to pass hot water over to his maid, at which point he ends up seeing the colors of the apples that are on the table. This is an Eureka moment where he's realizing, oh, my advancement of this magic is working. He's able to finally perceive colors. Now, yes, this doesn't mean that he's able to see everything. He's able to sort of see what's around him in a certain type of shape. Even when it comes to reading, he sort of has to still trace the letters themselves. But still, this is enough to kind of encourage him that this is the direction he's going, and that's working out. That all said, though, eventually his life duties ends up coming into play. His father kind of confronts him and tells him, hey, you need to go to school. You don't need to stay at the school. You just need to at least graduate from the school, because if you don't, it's going to look bad upon you, and that, of course, reflect badly upon the princess. So it's probably best that you do go. So he goes to school, ends up running into the princess's brother, who doesn't seem to like him. But overall, he seems to be enjoying his, stay at the school very briefly. And that is Kunon the Sorcerer Can See so far. Like I said before, I kind of find this show charming. I think most of my enjoyment comes around Iko, the maid, and Kunon's kind of chemistry. And how this is sort of formed is she's just a very bright personality. This is the girl that's constantly, even when he was at his worst, constantly at his side saying, Kunon, you can do it, constantly trying to kind of push him forward. Hey, let's go learn magic. Us that don't know how to use magic, I mean, this is like a miracle. I mean, you should be able to use this. This is so freaking cool. Like, she's constantly at his side, encouraging him, all the way up into the point where he finds that kind of inspiration in magic itself, sort of a possibility of a future where he could potentially be able to see things around him. And this is mostly kind of predicated around the idea that he doesn't want to be a burden upon people. Apparently, it was even making his mother sick that she was having to, wait on him so much because she was worried about him. Her encouragement pretty much brings him to the point where he can finally see a happiness in his life. And it even gets better because when they bring in the tutor that's supposed to be teaching him different things, he wants to learn how to be a gentleman for the princess. And Iko ends up saying, hey, you should probably teach him how to be a humorous gentleman. Not just a gentleman, just be a humorous gentleman. And this pretty much causes Kunon, over a span of a few years, to turn into this, jester. He is an absolute goofball. And I love, again, how Kunon and Iko kind of play off each other, where he's constantly, trying to butter her up and say how beautiful she is, or say how beautiful the princess is, and at the same time kind of downplaying himself. Is this bow tie too cute? Oh, well, I can't have it being as cute as you are, so I'll just burn it immediately. It's just dorky stuff like that. Even the teacher herself is I think I made a mistake here doing this because it seems like he's kind of shallow. His personality and the way that he's treating people around him seems kind of shallow, but at the same time, that's kind of cute because it's coming from him. That whole bit there, I think, works out to be really great. I actually really do like it. It's kind of, unfortunately, the one thing that's carrying the show, because everything outside of that is sort of kind of a little bland. I do admit, especially visually, the show is extremely bland. It just doesn't look good. It's very kind of basic. It's not that it's PowerPoint slideshow basic. It's not like it's, One Punch Man season 3 here, but it's not great either. It's got a lot of wonkiness to the character designs. So this stuff kind of has to carry it quite a bit. Outside of that, the concept of the mechanics, I am very mixed. Early on, when I checked out the PVs on this show, I'm like, oh, so this could be a story about a guy who, has water magic. He learns that he can basically create an eyeball with the water magic, and he's going to basically create sight through the water magic. And then what's the point of him being blind? That was kind of a big question mark that I had. Why would you create a concept for a story like this where he basically overcomes his only burden within the first episode? It's not making it out as if he's gotten over it yet. It's sort of implying the idea that all he's able to do right now is sort of get a sense of colors around him. He's not seeing objects. He's not seeing things in full clarity. He's not literally created a little sensory eyeball that tells him everything. He's not replaced his eyeballs with water magic that suddenly sees everything. He's only getting a sense of sound and colors. And sadly, it never really gives us a visual perspective of what's happening until the end of the second episode. When he goes to the school, it suddenly kind of shows how he's getting a sense of sound and where it's coming from. This is something that he's always avoided, is being around a lot of people, and suddenly he's at a school where all this sound is coming from different locations. I'm not sure how that correlates with the colors or how the colors are sort of represented, but we'll see. Hopefully, eventually, they kind of give us a better sense of what exactly is happening. It also never really explained how he's getting that information. I assume that he was creating an eyeball with the water because they had broken down water into different categories, whereas it being flavor, temperature, velocity, viscosity, all these different elements. When it's generated, he's able to now kind of break it down. And so I assume that he was going to essentially fabricate an eyeball from scratch. But there's a few problems with that, and his idea that he doesn't know what an eyeball is made out of. I'm not sure that he knows the chemical breakdown of an eyeball, but he is creating things a plum juice. He's creating a big old ball of red that looks like blood. He is changing everything about the object of water that he's creating. But how does that turn into, I am now seeing out of the eyeball? Yes, he's capturing the colors, but how is that getting to his brain? How is he connected to the water itself? None of that's really explained so far, and I'm hoping eventually it does explain it, just because of how his experience at the school was sort of it seemed like it was a moment where it was a reveal to the viewer, this is what he sees. So hopefully eventually it says, oh, this is how he sees, question mark. It does seem like at some point he mentioned that he was now creating a membrane. And that was while he was walking with Iko back to their home manor. It seemed like it kind of went out of its way to say, I am now creating a membrane around the water. That could be the process of him sort of evolving the magic to eventually create an eye. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't seem like that is its primary focus, is to actually explain itself. It almost feels like it just wants to, at some point have him create 7 water balls, and they're all sentries that say, he sees everything. And that's what it is. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, I did get a kick out of the fact that Genie is pretty much like the Roxy character of this show. It's like the first episode, Genie shows up and she's the, you know, the tutor that's supposed to teach him magic. Personality completely different, but it has the blue hair, and it has the fact that, you know, within the first visit of him, he's totally outplaying her, and now suddenly she's like, he's able to do things that I'm not able to do. Now I have to learn more. And she's feeling less than Kunon. I did get a kick out of it. It's like, do a different color hair than blue. Just do a different hair color than blue. She's a dork, though. Genie was actually a dork. Not really played too much in there, besides the fact of how, like, frightened she is of him, that he's going to be, like, this incredible mage or whatever. But anyways, it's been a solid show so far. I do like the humor, again, mostly around Kunon and Iko, the goofy, humorous gentleman that constantly is swooning the women and acting like all high and mighty. I did get a kick out of the fact that he constantly doesn't like the fact that he's got like a silver spoon in his mouth. The father's like, don't worry, you don't actually have to go to school. The Highness has blessed you. That sounds like I'm basically taking advantage of the Highness and you know, working around this system. Even when he goes to the school and they're talking about the idea that the exams take time and they have delays between them, she's like, we'll shorten it down so that you can just take them, you know, over and over again. And he's like, I'm so sorry that the Highness and my father is, you know, essentially threatening the school, that this political power is coming down upon you. It's definitely a nepotism of some sort. I know it is. The teacher's like, legit, I don't care. I didn't hear anything. I just, please take the test. No, please don't drag me into politics. I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, I feel you, girl. It's like whenever somebody brings up politics, like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. Don't want to get involved. Just please, just take the test and go on with your life. It's good stuff. Again, at the end of the day, I'm not really sure this show is going to have like massive legs to it, that it's going to be able to go some places. I think most of the time that I'm watching the episodes, it feels like just these cute, charming moments between the characters kind of just work for me. But sadly, nothing else outside of that is really working. And the magic systems, I don't know if they're actually ever going to explain all of it. It just feels like it's going to probably be a kind of chill show to sit back and watch him, you know, impress people, and every now and then have these little goofy moments between the characters. But that's my thoughts so far on Kunon the Sorcerer Can See. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. As always, I'm going to be doing first impressions of all the shows this season, so if you don't want to watch it all, I'll watch it for you. You can hear me in the background or something like that while you're doing something. Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll just check out that show. That's what I'm here for. Save you guys some time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and you want to support Town more, become a member. Until next time, y'all take care.